Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 875. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Today, it's the return of the segment Into an Interview where I'll be speaking with Canadian singer-songwriter Billy Grima. He is from the lovely area of Caledon Hills, Ontario, Canada. Plus, we hear from Chely Shoehart.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Floyd the Floorman and John Deere the engineer. Characters for me to do their voices is hard.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Some marriages end with a scorched earth policy, though I thought that when my marriage met its finality, that the two of us would try to be respectful to the memory of the good times we had. Don't get me wrong, we're still friendly, but when I got back from my recent vacation,
Mike's Daily Podcast,
I saw a bunch of memories thrown into the sanitation.
Mike's
Literally.
Daily
She had stopped by
Podcast
and decided to clean out some boxes. But those boxes have memories a la photos and things that concern the both of us. Luckily, I was able to save some of it. Look who just walked in. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Oh my God, what a sad story. Yeah, Chely, you know, the unexamined life is not worth living. I know, Mike Matthews. That's why I look back at my life every day at all the photos that I took on my smartphone. That's great. You take a lot of pictures. Yeah, Mike Matthews, I just took one of you right now. No, you just took a picture of me. I'm still self-conscious about my head, which I scratched shaving. My bald head's got a big gash in it. I look like Gorbachev. Look who just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, I think you did the right thing trying to save some of your things. Save some of my things? Yeah, you tried to save some of the memories that were in the trash. Yeah, I tried to salvage my memories, literally. Yes, Mike. That's really poetic and deep. You know, we sometimes have to, bend into the trash, our feet dangling in the air, trying to grab for things, our hands covered in marinara sauce from that open jar of Prego. Mike, your ex-wife is Prego? No, she's not Preggers. No, what do you guys... Not that I know of anyway. Anyway, we're friends. But it just seemed... She's always had a philosophy of not being a pack rat, which it was Pack Rat Day over the weekend. Did you know that? It was National Pack Rat Day. And she always, didn't believe in letting things store up, and I understand that. And it was stuff that was in her boxes. So yeah, it's up to her to do what she wants with those. But that's just the thing. It's difficult. Divorce, man. Not only on the massive scale with the kids and all that, which luckily we didn't have any, but the little things, there's all kinds. It's massive, if you've been divorced. But there's many a country song written about divorce. I can count 50 right now. Actually, no, I can only think of one. Divorce. Tammy Wynette. Oh, Mark Chestnut going through the big D, and I don't mean Dallas. Thank you. I came up with 2. Perhaps you can come up with more. You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. We read your comments on the section emails from email. Also email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you'd like to sponsor the show. And you can also comment as well. Comment on the Facebook page, facebook.com/mikesdailypodcast, or on my Twitter @MikeTalks. And we read your comments and your emails on the section emails from email and your calm and not so comments. Also, check out the website, mikesdailypodcast.com. You can find us on iTunes through that. And if you do that, go to the iTunes and subscribe to us there. You can rank the show, comment on the show. If you do that, more people find out about us and we don't languish in obscurity. You can also hear us on YouTube, SoundCloud, TuneIn, Stitcher, Podomatic, Mixcloud, Spreaker, Player FM, and Ameristream Live, which I've been speaking to Perry over there at Ameristream Live, and he took exception to a comment I made about Mad Men a couple weeks ago. He apparently is a huge Mad Men fan, and he asked me, did you watch the last episode of Mad Men, which I did not. And he said, there were a few predictable great outcomes and parts left to interpretation a la Sopranos. I expected the payoff, but I wasn't sure how it'd play out. Overall, pretty good. Now I only have Game of Thrones, he says. See, that's the thing, man. Today's TV shows, if you haven't watched any, you can go back and, like, if you never watched Breaking Bad, you can go back and watch them all. And people go, hey, man, did you watch Breaking Bad? No. You got to watch it, man. You got to watch all of them. Start at the beginning, though. Start at the beginning. Watch all of them. But I won't give you any spoilers, but so-and-so dies, like, at the end of the... Don't tell me that. And that's the thing. There's just so many shows to get caught up on. Game of Thrones. Some of you like the True Blood. Some of you watched the House of Cards. It's a lot of something. Or Breaking Bad, Walking Dead, faking interest in watching any of those shows. Anyway, what show is your favorite? You can email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com, or comment on any of those places I was telling you about. We're also on Instagram, Yelp, and Tumblr. Links to all those places at mikesdailypodcast.com. You can also comment there at mikesdailypodcast.com. Plus, you can read the blog, see the daily podcast picture, and all my past interviews at mikesdailypodcast.com. If you want to help out the show, we greatly thank you and are appreciative of that. You can, if you're going to buy anything on Amazon, go through that Amazon link at mikesdailypodcast.com, and that way we get a little bit of support from that too. Now, into my interview with Billy Grima, the singer-songwriter from Ontario, Canada, though I do mispronounce his name here at the beginning of the interview.
Into an interview.
Billy Grima, it is me, Mike Matthews, calling you from Mike's Daily Podcast, and you're in Caledon Hills, and how is it today?
Very good, thank you, very good. Nice to have me. I'm glad to be on your show, thank you.
And you got into, when did you start making music and songwriting?
I started singing at the age of about eight. I was in the choir and never looked back. I been singing, and I started playing guitar at a young age too, and just took it up from there.
The guitar was the instrument you liked. Was there? What was?
Yeah, I was singing in the choir, and then when I started playing guitar, just to kind of, I got an interest in maybe writing some stuff, and just took it up from there.
Huh.
And it's awesome. I love it.
What's the process like for you when you're writing a song?
I'm always trying to keep an eye out for a hook, or something might say, or sometimes it's the lyrics, sometimes it's the music, sometimes it's a hook. I write on piano too, so actually 7 songs from my album Sugar and Cream were written on piano, but then I changed it to guitar. So it could be anything. It could be even a line or a lyric or a sign that I might see on the road somewhere.
A sign on a road somewhere. Just grab.
Yeah, little things you might see that might catch your eye. Little bits and pieces, or just take a line from here. Like it's a matter of you see events happening on the road, and you might think that's a good thing to try and write about. So that's how I pick it up. That's how I pick it all up.
And Sugar and Cream is the latest album.
Yes, it is.
And it's also the name of one of the songs on the album. And what was it like making the album?
It's very, very exciting, and because when I start writing it, when I'm in the studio and we do the bed tracks for a certain song, and then I take it away and I just listen to it a few times and let it sit. Then I listen to it again and start coming up with more ideas. So it's a process. You start with one thing, and then it leads to another. You come up with harmonies and whatnot after, and you just take it up from there.
Yeah, you do some amazing harmonies with yourself. Is that you singing with yourself?
What's that?
Is that you singing the overdubs, or do you have other people?
I like to do. I do have people singing backup with me, but also I'd like to put in my share too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Caledon Hills, Ontario, Canada.
It's just about 40 minutes northwest of Toronto.
Ah, okay. And you grew up there?
Yeah, well, I moved to Canada when I was 15, and I moved up there. Yeah, basically that's it.
Yum. What's the? I say yum because I think of good food. That there's good food in Ontario.
Yeah, it's a country. It's a country. It's a lot of farmland, and it's peaceful, very very scenic.
Wow.
Yeah, very very scenic.
And there's a very good. Is there syrup?
Yes, there is actually. Yes, it's a whole bunch of farms and very organic and whatnot. So I live in Cheltenham, which is a small town in Caledon. 500 people in town, and everybody knows each other. You know, the public school has 150 kids in it. But all kinds of stuff. Syrup, honey. They do it all. And it's very preserved. Put it that way. Like, you know, that you can't just build homes in wherever you want. It's just it's very protected.
Oh man, sounds beautiful. Now, the album was engineered by a guy who has a connection to two of my favorite Canadian bands, Rush and Glass Tiger.
Yes. Peter Swan. He's an amazing musician, amazing guitarist, producer. We hit it off really well, and it's been very good. I look forward to working with him again.
Great. And the cover of your album features a dog?
Yeah, that's my dog.
Oh, what's his or her name?
That's Sandy.
Sandy. What kind of dog is she?
She's a golden doodle. She doesn't leave my sight. She's actually on my video too, on picture of, and pleasure to have met you, on my first track of the album.
Awesome! Wow, she's a star.
yeah. People notice that I'm an animal lover, so it's a good thing for me.
How does she deal with snow?
She just rolls in it, then she comes inside and makes a mess. You know, because I have to clean it all off. But she's good. She's very good.
And
so even when we're having a rehearsal, she just sits there and waits, and then when she's fed up, she just moves on. But she's always by my side.
So tell me about like the people playing on the album. There's you obviously, and you're playing guitar on it.
I play a little bit of guitar, but Pete is the guitar player. Actually, he does really well. You know, I like singing. That's my passion, and I play piano too. So I've done my piano tracks and my singing. Most of the guitar was played by Pete Swan.
I see. And drums.
So I got drums. I got Steve, and then I got Julio, who plays the bass, and I got Grant or Jeff Johnson that plays keyboards. Besides me.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to play a song. The title track from the album, "Sugar and Cream." What was the inspiration for this song?
That was about meeting. That was meeting a friend of mine, meeting a lady, and it all happened the way it was written. Meeting somebody, and then she had her jacket in her hands, in her arms, and I just said, well, you gotta hang your jacket next to mine. So that's how it all started. The song, that's how it all started. And basically we just played it out that way. It was very creative. I found it very creative. And it seems to be one of the favorite tracks on the CD.
Who would you like to meet, like musician-wise? Meet and perform with? Do a concert with? Is there a musician on your wish list?
Oh, there's plenty. Man or woman, male or woman. For a woman, I would say probably it would be Sarah McLachlan or Faith Hill.
Oh, yes.
They're amazing. When it comes to a male, it would be like Billy Joel, Tim McGraw, Jason Mraz. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Steve Perry too, but yeah. So there's so much talent out there, right? Unbelievable.
Billy Joel and Steve Perry were part of USA for Africa. That song, We Are the World, they sing on it.
Yes. Yeah. Both amazing musicians.
And
So, yeah. But, there's so much talent out there, right? It's unbelievable. And now it's to access music. It's so easy to, on the internet, wherever you go, there's music.
and where can people find you on the internet?
So they can find me at www.billygrima.com. They can find me on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, and also they can find me on iTunes.
And it's Billy Grima, and it's spelled Grima.
Yes,
And
and it's Billy with a Y.
and it's Billy with a Y, not an IE. It's Billy with
Yeah.
Billy Joel.
That's right.
And,
Yeah.
And so you're in Caledon Hills right now. What's a fun thing to do today, like on this May day today? What would you?
Well, probably in about an hour or so, I'm going to be sitting on my porch playing my guitar. I like to sit outside. There's nobody around, and you just sit out there and just try and work on a tune. I'm working on my 4th album right now, so I like to sit down and take my time when there's nobody around, just me and Sandy, and just sit there and try and work on a tune. I got some hooks lined up, and yeah.
That's just like
That's my daily.
that sounds like the cover of your album.
Yeah, yeah. That's exactly it, actually.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's seeing you in your natural state, in what you like to do.
I love it. If you watch "Pleasure to Have Met You," which is the song the song that's released, and that's actually also the latest video that I've done. Actually, that's where we were jamming. We just said, let's jam. All I wanted to do is film it and jam it, and that's what we did.
That's where you can see Billy Grima sitting on his porch with his dog, playing away in the beautiful Caledon Hills. Cool. So the album is Sugar and Cream. Let's listen to the title track, Billy Grima here, and you can find out more at billygrima.com. Thank you, Billy, for being on Mike's Daily Podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on. It's a pleasure.
From his new album, Sugar and Cream, that's the title track, Billy Grima, as we go outside of Cafe Anyway here at the last place on earth, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And you can see a picture of Billy there on Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Mike Matthews, he's like singing. Yeah, he likes to sing. He's a good singer and songwriter, so expect to hear more from him. I will, Mike Matthews. What? I will expect to hear... Wait, don't tell me what to expect. Or what to expect when I'm expecting. You're not expecting, are you? You're not Prego, are you? Or Preggers. Mike Matthews, come on. That's like a personal question. You're right. I'm sorry. I mean, I just started dating the brewmaster. I mean, come on, get off my back. All right. Gosh. I think I just, I need to just stop asking my characters here at Cafe Anyway any questions. Isn't that true, Floyd? What? John Deere, are you sad about David Letterman retiring? Yeah, I'm really sad. Oh, that's too bad. Wow. Hey, look. Now it's time to end the show with a little bit of theater.
Mike's Daily Podcast Master Pod Theater.
Hey. Floyd the Floorman, what are you doing? Well, John Deere the engineer, I'm just throwing out our memories into the sanitation. You mean into the trash? That's right! Because they're just memories that are gone, that we should forget. Oh no, don't do that. And David Letterman, don't retire. And end scene. Thank you. Thanks to all the podcast players. That was fantastic. Mike Matthews, I wasn't even in that skit. Oh. Let me write something else here. Okay. Hey, I'm just a normal, average, everyday person walking down the street. Mike Matthews, you just wrote an extra part for me. Yeah, you were an extra. Oh, okay. My dad was an extra. I know. So, you know, you're in good company. In fact, my dad named his boat Silent Bit, because that's what they call when extras don't say anything on screen. They call it a silent bit. Fascinating, Mike Matthews. And also fascinating is next show, we will bring you the return of the much-loved feature called This Is Interesting, where we'll look at some very interesting news you didn't know about. Plus, we'll hear from Benita, the disgruntled fiddle player, and the brewmaster. That's my boyfriend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at Mike'sDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at Mike'sDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!